What's going on, guys? Today we're about to get into it. The day is February 24th, and we're getting closer and closer to the first of the month where you will see some changes. But what I want to talk about today is an interesting process of being highly involved in sales. And what I want to do is talk about the bad and I want to talk about the good. So, to start this presentation off, we're going to talk about the bad. When I was in the military, I had this hunger, I had this desire to start a business. And one of the things that I did was I would go to the store. One of my favorite things to do was to go to Barnes and Nobles. Back in the day when people went to bookstores, I haven't been to Barnes and Nobles and I cannot remember when, but I would go to Barnes and Nobles and I would go by the magazine rack and I would pick up all of these hustle magazines, these hustle periodicals, these hustle um whatever you want. And they're about hustling. I would get these books, I would get these magazines, and I would take them back to my room in the military and I would sit down and go over them. And I would order stuff out of the magazines. I would consistently do this. And I would order these programs, I would order these books. Now, once again, let me be 100% clear with you guys. I had no clue to what I was doing. I had no clue. I was an E4 in the military. I was just trying to make some money. And I would get these magazines and I would look. And typically, I would spend anywhere from 40. I think the most that I spent was like 300 bucks on these things in the back of these magazines. And I would go ahead and get these things. I would then try to sell them, and I ran into all types of problems. I ran into a ton of problems. I ran into a lot of problems because I didn't know how to set up a sales cycle. I didn't even, once again, let's be 100% honest here. I didn't even know there was a sales cycle. I didn't understand the whole process of getting an audience. I didn't understand the process of none of this stuff. I didn't understand any of these things about how to get a sales cycle, how to go ahead and get a robust audience. I was just getting these magazines, buying stuff, and then trying to sell it. And this was a very, very frustrating, it was a very bad time because even though I was in the military, I still wanted to make more money. I still wanted to do more. And I did this process about 3 years. I was on this process of trying to find something to sell some stuff. And it never worked out. It never became anything. I never made any money. I never made any money. And I remember the closest I came to success. I had this magazine. Well, I would order these catalogs, and these catalogs were full of very expensive stuff. And I managed to sell some stuff, but typically to sell the items in this catalog, I had to sell it close to the price that was in the catalog. So that meant I didn't really make any money. And it was very egotistical. It was very frustrating. It was really, really one of my less glorious moments. So after that, trying to start a business while I was in the military, after I got out the military, I did not try to start a business until after my marriage was over, after I was homeless, after I was living in my car. And there was about 3 years from that standpoint. And I remember one of the things that happened to me when I was living in that boarding house. I got very, very accurate. I got really, really honest with myself. And I began to understand I didn't know nothing. I didn't understand anything. I didn't know anything. So I began to retrain myself. And the first thing that I did, I got a job. Because once again, looking back on my experiences with businesses, and I want you to think in the 90s were nothing like it is today. It is nothing. It is not even close. So I was actually thinking, I'm gonna get me a job. And I figured out how to get me a better job. And I got my job at Rent a Crate, which they started me off at 38,500, which at the time was the most money I ever made. Oh, let's see. Inflation calculator. Let's see what that money would be today. I'm just curious. Inflation calculator. Let's go 1999, and we would go 38,500. Oh, I need to put the year 2023. And oh, wait a minute. 38,500. It's not get. Oh, okay. I had to hit the right button. In 1999, when they started me off at 38,500, today, if I got a job, let me go ahead and show you guys. If I got a job today making that, I would be making close to 69,000. Oh, we go ahead and say $70,000. So that was a huge amount of money. So let's kind of go back to my next job. I was doing 60,000. So that was 107,000. And let's go to my last job, 300. Whoa. So that's what happened to me. I did not quit my job. I got a job. I kept my job and I kept getting better and better jobs. And this kind of brings us into the sales process. First job, Rent a Crate. Rent a Crate had a sales process to sell their product. They had numbers, they had metrics, and this was the first time that I was exposed to this. This was the first time that I saw any of this. This was the first time that I knew what a sales process was. Rent a Crate taught me the arc of the sales process. And this is really, really simple. First thing you do is you get the appointment. That's all. You do not try to sell these people on the phone. The phone is really, really, unless you're in a cycle where you're doing telesales, that's a complete and different form. But My goal was to get the appointment, get these people online, and to make money and to get them online so our salespeople could go in and try to sell the product. And let me go ahead and explain this whole process because one of the things you guys have got to understand, I was doing this 8 to 12 hours a day, depending upon what day it was, depending upon what I had going on. So I would get up in the morning, go to the office, and immediately get on the phone. And one of the things that I learned, and this is really, really very, very important, is to get good at sales, you've got to do extra things. And one of the things that I learned, because here's the thing, no one at Rent a Crate really checked me. I would just come in and do my work. So one of the things that I started to do, I had a key to the office. I would come in the office early, like maybe 6 o'clock, and I would start calling people. And this is one of the wildest things. From 6 to 9, I would book the majority of my appointments for the day. Why? Now, once again, this was in the 90s. It was very, very different. Um, I would book the majority of my appointments between that period because I could catch a lot of decisions makers um, about what's going on, what's happening. And between 6 and 9, I would book three to my best day was 9 appointments, but I would usually book 3 to 6 appointments between the morning hours of 6 and 9 because I could call an office and the secretary or the person was not there to interrupt. So the guy who made the decisions answered the phone. And I found this to be extremely effective. And what I would do is I would go in the office 6 to 9, and at 9, I would leave because there was no one really checking me. There was no one really on top of the situation. So I pretty much would come and go as I pleased. And, as long as I was getting appointments, no one really messed with me. And that was the first thing I had to learn was number one, how to identify the right person. Huge, 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 huge. Number two, how to talk to the right person. Number three, how to get engaged with the right person. And that was the first step that I had to learn. And that was the first process. And this was before I started going out on sales. This is before I started doing any of these things. And then my second job, where I made more money, I was doing the same thing, just I had more freedom, more freedom. So at this point, I learned how to find the people, I learned how to present myself on the phone, and I learned how to set an appointment. Then my third job, this is where it all started to come together. At this point, I knew how to get on the phone and set appointments. I was really, really good at that. I actually had a little team of people. We used to get together and I became very, very proficient at setting appointments. Now, this third job where they paid me $3,000 a month for the first 3 months, I did not make a sale for about 6 months. So one of the things I had to do was, because like I said, I was really good at setting appointments, really good at getting in front of people, but actually doing the sale, actually, I had to work on that. So I'm at 6 months. Um, my money isn't funny because, when I was in the boarding house, I developed this methodology of saving money. So I had a little money. I didn't have a lot of money, but I had a little money. And then one day, I was working on doing some things that was very, very different. I was working, one day I went in, I was like, I found out that I had lost the sale. They had went with someone else. And this right here is the greatest piece of advice that I can give you on sales. I called up the lady and I said, "Hi, this is Glendon. How you doing? I understand you went with someone else, and I understand that's your decision, but could you please tell me everything that I did wrong?" And I literally was on the phone, and the lady gave me a list of 5 things, and I was like, "Okay." And it was about the print, it was about the setup, it was about the layouts. There was, she gave me some really, and I thanked her very much, and I sent her some flowers and stuff. And then I took that information and I started to take this stuff out of my sales cycle because once again, I was really, really good at setting appointments, but I wasn't that good at closing deals. So I literally everyone that I presented to, I went to them and it's like, "Hey, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong?" That was game changing information for me. That literally was game changing. That literally reset my whole sales cycle because the first 6 months I ain't really sell nothing because I was good at getting appointments, finding people, getting in front of them, but I wasn't closing nothing. And then the second 6 months, well, actually, let's go after I started doing this, I would say 2 to 3 weeks after I started doing this and started getting rid of these bad things. And I made my first sale, which netted me a profit of $68,000. That was my money. The 68,000 that was for me. And I was like, whoa. Went straight to the BMW dealership, got me a brand new BMW. At that point, I did not understand this whole thing about taxes and stuff. But fortunately, because I had changed my sales thing, because once again, I was 100% down on getting appointments and finding appointments and setting up leads and going in and close sales. So once I learned that last part, um, I became extremely powerful in the world of sales. I became extremely well versed because literally I was closing deals at one point, and this was my high point. I was literally closing a deal once a week. And let me explain to you what I had to do. And it was a numbers game. Number one, um, I tried to do because you can't do a bunch of appointments um, at once. You just can't do a ton. So for me, a good day was 3 to 4 appointments because you can't do like 10 appointments because you got to present, you got to drive there. So if I could get 3 or 4 appointments in per day, so let's say 4 appointments per day times 5, that's, let's see, make sure uh, that I will do that. 4 times 5 is 20. So I was getting 20 appointments a week. And essentially, it got to the point where, because, in the first few months, man, I was doing more appointments, but getting less results because I was just like, get the appointment, get in there, sell them. And it was just like, rah, 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 rah. Hey, I got this. I know you need furniture. I got this. And I would try to cram like 6 to 8 appointments, and I was not really effective. I wasn't doing well. So, one of the things you have to understand, depending on what you're selling, your sales cycle, you have to set up your appointments and stuff for whatever you're selling because office furniture is very much an emotional sale. All sales are emotional, just depending on what aspect you get onto. And I had to learn how to handle and manage that emotion. And so, like once again, I had the process of calling and setting up the appointments. Then I had the process of presenting the appointments. Then I had the process of closing. And if I saw 20 people in a week, I would close 3 to 4 if I saw really good people. Because one of the things is with the office furniture sales, you had to get in really, really early. And this is one of the things. And this is because typically you had to get in before they moved, before they found their new building. And one of the things that you have to do is understand that's amazing X blind royalty. Amazing. So one of the things that you have to do is learn your system, learn your protocols. And once I got all that together, because here's the thing, when I was talking about I was doing like sales every week, you have to set up the sale. You have to go present them the sale. You have to communicate with the people. You have to send them a proposal, get a signed proposal, get a deposit. There were many, many levels to this. And one month, I was getting literally a huge sale every 2 to 3 days because all the work that I had did. Because one of the things that I learned from setting appointments was you always have to be fishing for leads. You always, because here's the thing: if you spend a lot of time fishing for leads, then you call up the leads, then you go on the appointments, then you're going to run dry. I never ran dry, so to speak. So Chester, are any sales books? No, I'm not going. Here's the thing: if you want to get good in sales, you need to start selling something. There is no book that's going to help you with selling unless you're actually selling something. So you need to actually get a sales job and then go out and get into the books. But this is the foundation. Now, why did I do this live stream today? I was watching a live stream where this guy was in the real estate, but before he got in real estate, his job was sales. And he took all of those special extra sales type skills to the real estate market. And actually, let me see if I can find it, because this would be well worth you guys watching. Let's see. I don't know what channel I watched this on, but let's see. I think I watched it on this channel. Not really sure. Real estate nurses. Let's see if that will bring that up. Nope, 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 nope. I'm gonna do my best to find this because this is really state business. Okay, bigger pockets.
This is the Bigger Pockets podcast.
Because this is very well worth. Aha, found it, found it, found it, found it. Okay, so I'm going to direct you guys to this, and this is very well
This is the Bigger
worth
Pockets podcast.
watching. 1 million a year with 9 rental properties by cracking the travel nurse code. And this is one of the things that I consistently see in the marketplace, that And here's a guy who's making an incredible amount of money. So what you want to do, let me go ahead and put that in the chat. This is very well worth watching. Very much so worth watching because it just reminded me of all the lessons that I got out of selling stuff and being present in the sales field. So go ahead and check that out. I put the link in the chat. 1 million a year with 9 rental properties by cracking the travel nurse code. Because when you get into sales, and I will say honestly, sales is the best thing to get into before you start a business. I don't care if you're selling cars. I don't care if you're selling. Now, let's talk about what exactly what I mean when I say sales. Now, let's say you're part of Amazon FBA and you're going out and finding high trending products and sticking it on Amazon FBA. To me, that is not sales. You're trying to trick the Amazon algorithm. That's not sales. So, sales is when you have to pick up the phone, call someone, and do some stuff and set some things up. Because one of the things that you have to do, one of the things that you have to put into play is setting someone up for your sales process, setting someone up to sell them whatever you're selling them. Now, I would say, like, once again, that watching that, it was really refreshing. It was very interesting. It was a very good podcast because the guy actually did sales. He actually did sales. He did a lot of little things. Like, once again, it's very much worth you guys spending time watching this. And I would say watch it 2 or 3 times because one of the things that's going to happen is you're going to learn some things that you didn't know about sales. So I would say watch that 2 or 3 times because one of the things that happens when you really get good at sales, and one of the things that starts to emerge is you stop worrying about money. You just do not worry about money. Um, and one of the things I'm getting ready to do is I can tell you because we're getting there. We're literally 5 days away. I am revamping everything, and it's going to shock some of you. Some of you, like, once again, subscribe to the channel. I got people, and I'm not really worried about these people. And I'm going to explain why. I got people who want to watch the channel but don't want to subscribe. That tells me a whole lot about these people. These people are, once again, are never going to do anything because the subscribe literally takes 5 seconds, right? But they're on me because I changed the name because they can't keep up with the program. It's kind of crazy. But I'm getting ready to bring in a lot of stuff. We're going to have different classes. And the first thing that we just going to get into is the mindset. And this is going to be real different. And I need to be 100% real clear. This will be all new training, mindset stuff. It's all going to be 100% new. Everything is going to be 100% new. And what I'm going to do, and this is something I'm going to work on tomorrow, is get this thing set up for people to go into how to get a business. And another thing that I have some more videos that are being processed that will release. One will release tomorrow. Another one will release Monday. Well, I don't know if it's going to. Let's see. I own an It's a sales shop more than fitness. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Because here's the thing. Um, my gym, man, my gym was crowded. in January. Now I can go in there and it's like literally half the people are in there. Literally half the people. But we're going to get into mindset and we're going to get into, because here's the thing, and this is something that I really, really need to bring home. I really, really need to actually make people aware and understand what's going on. Someone in the chat asked me about books. All right, here's the thing, and here's the thing that you got to understand. Getting a book about sales and having nothing to sell, in my opinion, is a waste of time. It is a waste of time. So you need to go out and find something to sell, because you could be reading all this other stuff. Because here's the thing, you got to learn it, then you have to apply it. And if you're just reading books and you're like cramming your head full of all this information, just stuffing information, learning, but you're not executing on nothing, let me tell you what's going to happen to you. You're going to have someone out there from an intellectual standpoint who is not as smart as you, but this person is going to actually take action. And this is something else too. There are a lot of people who are millionaires who were never the smartest student, were never the best person in the um one of the things, dope style productions, there will not be any of that type of stuff. I've deleted all those videos. I am not going to be talking about people or going off on people. There will not be any of that stuff in the future. And I'm going to tell you why. Um, One of the things that I'm seeing is my channel is resetting, and I am getting more and more of the right people. A lot of the stuff that was going on with those people was because I was participating in stupid stuff. I actually will hold myself accountable. I participated, I made videos, I said certain things. Going forward, this channel is going to be 100% about money, credit, business. That's it. I really don't care what anyone else is doing. Like right now, you have a bunch of black content creators making all of these "I'm dissing Grant Cardone" videos. Let me tell you about Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone is one of the smartest internet marketers I've ever seen. The man has $150 million per year business. There is not, you can literally take all of the black content creators, all of them, put them in a room, and Grant Cardone will still be making more money than all of them combined. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? You got all these folks who are making these things, talking this stuff, um, making all this other stuff, yet Grant is making more money than all of them combined. Yet they keep talking about Grant. Grant is one of the smartest, one of the savviest, one of the slickest internet marketers. I have a brand I would like to sell in smoke shops, set up appointments to visit stores, or just show with the products. Jay Malik, I'm gonna give you the blueprint of what you need to do. Number one, you need to sit down and figure out all of the shops that could sell your product. And you need to create an Excel spreadsheet. And then what you need to do is go to the Secretary of State, look up who owns these smoke shops. Because here's the things, typically, with a lot of those businesses, the owner will never be in the shop. If he's got it set up a certain way, so what you got to do is figure out who the man is that can say, yes, we're putting this stuff in our store. No, we're not putting this stuff in our store. Then create a list and then start calling these people. And what I would do is I would offer them a free sample to put in their store. Now, why would I offer them a free sample? Free? Oh, it don't cost us no money. Cool. Put it in the store. It starts selling quite well. Then you can get them on a contract. So that's what I would do if I was you, Jay Malek. I would figure out who, where, what, when, I can put all this stuff together, and then I would start rolling it out. Because, and you bring up a really good point. There is something that's called a, let's see, what is it? Wholesale shop. And these are the people who sell things at a wholesale level. So that's what you would be doing. You would be wholesaling your product to these smoke shops. Now, I don't know how much it costs for you to produce this product, to make this product. I have no clue, but I would sit down and crunch out a hundred numbers. Like, how much money would it cost me to put my product in 100 smoke shops? I will work those numbers out on paper, know in the back of my head how much that's going to cost. So that's one of the things. Once again, I will say going forward in the rest of 2023, I will have nothing to say about certain people. And I'm going to explain to you why. One of the things that I reset this channel, and actually, I'm going to show you what's going on during this reset. All right. So one of the things that's going on with me is like the process of starting a real business and making real money. I'm just putting up these videos, but let me just show you what's going on with me. Um, so I'm getting rid of a lot of people. I'm getting rid of a lot of people. And this number, because I'm losing a bunch of these people. I'm losing a bunch of people who don't want to start a business, who just literally want to be entertained. That's who I'm losing. And I really don't care that I'm losing these people, because here's the thing. Um, I will share some with you guys. Let's go back. When this number was at less than 5,000 people, this number, right? Which 139, I made 1.5 million when that number was at 5,000 people. So what does that tell you? I really don't care about vanity numbers. If I only have 500 people who really want to start businesses, who are paying attention, who watch the videos, even though my views will go down, even though everything goes down, I will make more money. I will make way more money. Let's see. And they're kind of move this around a little bit, because I don't know what that is. Because like, once again, I am resetting the channel. I am getting rid of certain people. I am setting up some stuff because, let's see, where is it? Because they've changed it. And this is one of the reasons I'm resetting the channel. Willie D Live, the Celebrity Junk, the Morning Million, like mediocre book of, like, the majority of these people have nothing to do with actually starting a business, which tells me that the majority of the old audience um was very much about excitement, about drama. These folks didn't really care about starting a business. They didn't care about learning how to sell. They didn't care about sales tactics. They didn't care. They just did not care about the things that I wanted to teach. Grant Cardone does not make most of his money off black people. Black population is 14%, Hispanic population is 20 something percent, and white people are 60 something percent. Once you look at the math, you can see that there's no way in hell that Grant Cardone makes most of his money off black people. Let that go. You need to write that book first. That's the first thing you got to do. Write that book first. Yeah, that was one of the reasons that I decided to reset, because I had all of these people who were watching. Like, if you want to be entertained, that's fine. Be entertained, but one of the things that I am seeing is there's a lot of people, and once again, if you want to be entertained, if you want to enjoy being entertained and you get your entertainment on, that's fine. That's your business. But what I saw was, I'm going to say 95% of my channel were people who wanted to be entertained, not people who were, um, I mean, it's crazy. It's just crazy. And one of the things I've learned, like I said, I'm not going to be talking about people. I'm not going to be mentioning people. I'm not going to, I'm just, because once again, for me, I've had multiple years of success before YouTube. The majority of the people on that list, their success is YouTube. Big difference. Once again, one of the things I'm looking at is Grant Cardone's business. I'm looking at Dave Ramsey's business. I'm looking at a lot of businesses, because if you know what you're doing, you can make a lot of money with affiliate marketing, but it's not as easy or as simple as people think. The middle class is slowly dying away. So yeah, we're getting very much to a point, I would say in 30 years, where you will either have it or you won't have it. But once again, if you notice the big change in how I'm doing stuff, like because like I said, there's more changes coming. But if you would look at what I've done, how to start a business, that's uploading. Now, if this channel, this right here tells me business credit, why do you want to get into the American Express ecosystem? This video told me a lot of what I have here. I have a lot of foolish people. I have a lot of crazy people. I have a lot of people who want to be entertained. And this right here just literally shows that number. Because if I had a more balanced channel, this is one of the things I'm doing. I'm working on how to be more balanced, to get more people who want to start a business, to get more people. Yes, it will work in Atlanta. Yes, it will work. Yeah, because here's the thing. You shouldn't be worried about middle class. You shouldn't be worried about it. If you go out and start a business, whatever that may choose to be, I'm going to tell you something that's going to shock some of y'all. I have not paid myself this year. I have not written one check to Glendon Cameron out of my business. Not one. You want to know why? I'm still living off the money I made last year. I can go the rest of the year without a new paycheck. This is the game that I want to teach. I want to teach that game, not a lot of stuff that I would consider to be foolishness, a lot of stuff that I would consider to be nonsense, a lot of stuff that I don't even want to be part of. And once, and this is something I've noticed because, like, you can go ahead and look in the chat. Since I have reset the channel, since I've stopped talking about certain things, the foolish people are no longer here. I want you to really, really look at that because literally I was dealing with 3 dozen foolish comments every day. 3 dozen times 5 is 150 times 7 it's almost 200,000 crazy whack, just nothing to do with starting a business, nothing to do with setting up a holding company, nothing to do about business, nothing, just a bunch of foolishness, just foolishness. So I made the decision to reset the channel. Really glad I did that. And I went back to certain content. And one of the things that's going to happen is I'm going to start speaking a certain type of truth. I really don't care about any of those. Do you think Dame Dash is good advice with the right mindset? Dame Dash, here's the thing. Dame Dash made his money in the 1990s. That's when Dame Dash made his money. Dame Dash is living off of his fame. That's what Dame Dash is doing. Appreciate that. I have a question. Sure. I'll actually show you. One of the things that has happened is, let me kind of get into this. What's going on, guys? One of the things I've noticed is since I've reset the channel, I have less questions. This is one of the biggest things. Like,
This is a
literally,
car wash.
I can go, there's way less questions and there's less foolishness.
We're about to get into some very
I just don't have to deal with, I'm just going to call it, I don't have to deal with the stupidity. It was cool. Well, let me go ahead and tell you what happened with the dating channel. I was teaching men things that worked, and a lot of men just simply didn't want to do it. That's pretty much what happened with the dating channel. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Pretty much, because, like, Dame Dash, like, one of the things that is happening in the business community, and this is why I did this video. And let me, how starting a business has become a rock star show. One of the things I consistently see, and I see it, and I think it's very dangerous, is you would go out and get Floyd Mayweather, you would get Steve Harvey, you would get Dame Dash, and you have these people come on stage, tell some very good stories, and literally there's nothing about business. There's nothing. I mean, nothing. If you're in California, do this. Go to a small business meetup in California, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and see the difference between those business meetups and what you would see online in certain communities. Oh yeah. I mean, once again, I would 100% agree. The algorithm is so interesting. It hasn't been that long since the reset. So for there to be that, it's a huge difference because one of the things that I have learned is the content you put out is going to be a reflection of the audience that you get. And one of the things that, for some reason, I just got stuck on stupid stuff. And this is what built me this audience. And I was like, you know what? And literally, I've seen a number of Black creators who talk about things that most Black folks don't talk about have substantially large integrated audiences. And that's my move. My move at the end of the year is to have a more integrated audience. Because one of the things is um, mentioning certain names, talking about certain people, going on and on and on. That's trash talk. And that's going to get you a trash talking audience. That's going to get you, there are some people who literally tune into YouTube to see who's beefing. That's all they care about. Who's fighting? Who's got this to say? And they don't really care about starting the business. And this is where I'm at. I'm into starting businesses. I'm into making money. I'm into building things. Build the audience and marketing structure first, then write the book. I would actually be doing both. This is what I did. I created the YouTube channel and I also wrote the book at the same time. Because here's the thing, you got to get started. And that's kind of what I'm talking about, because I've had people ask me about what books should they get into for sales and stuff. And if you're not actively in sales, these books are not going to help you. Let me say that again. If you're not actively in sales, these books are not going to help you. I mean, I've seen all types of foolish stuff. And one of the things that, is going to happen is we're going to talk about mindset. Um, let me show you how I'm rolling. And I just got another business credit card and another line of credit today. So actually, I got some cash in there, but let me show you what's in my wallet. Okay. There we go. All right. So this is what's in my wallet. Got that one. And for the people who are worried about Capital One reporting to your personal credit, Capital One does not report to your personal credit for business credit cards. And I do not have one personal credit card on me. All I have are my business credit cards. I do not have one personal credit card on me. I'm not carrying any. I'm not worried about them. All I have are my business credit cards on me. And that's something that I'm going to teach, because it's very, very important. It's very, very important. Yeah, you should do both. All right. Well, once again, a lot of people just do not get into the math of business. They just do not get into the math of business. So you're 100% correct there. Pretty much. And I just decided to exit the attention economy. I'm out of it. I'm not messing with that no more. Yeah, because I really see this channel being very different the end of this year. Because, like, once again, I'm getting into some very business centric stuff. Because you will notice, and once again, I'm not mentioning names, but if you look at a lot of content creators, and if you were to actually sit there and look at their content, you will see that the majority of them are focusing on popular, common topics, not necessarily business. And I really want you to think about that. I really, really want you guys to think about that. Business channels that focus mostly on popular topics, common things, versus actually talking about business. I mean, it's one of the things. Like I said, I'm getting ready to, like I said, you guys will see. I'm getting ready to do a lot of different stuff and put this in there. But also, I forgot this one. That's my eating card. And I do have one personal credit card. I do have that one just around. And one of the things I'm getting ready to do is reshuffle my credit card deck, completely reshuffle it and do that. But one of the things I got today, like if you didn't know, Marcus, Goldman Sachs, you have a business credit card and a line of credit. I actually got that today. And I'm working on some more stuff. And these are the things that I will be talking about, things I'm actually doing and things I'm actually setting up to make money. Now, one of the things that I really, really want to get in on and actually do a better job of talking about is actually getting more and more people into business, getting more and more people into making money, get more and more people into founding and starting businesses. And if I go ahead and keep my conversation about how to start a business, how to scale a business, how to grow a business, how to get business credit, and just stay on those topics, I'm just not going to have the drama that I was having before, because once again, I must take 100% ownership. I played a major role in that drama. And that's one of the reasons that these things happened. And once I stopped communicating and I stopped putting out those type of tactics and actions, I'm just going to be much, much better off from a standpoint situation, because like I said, we got some more stuff that's coming and I'm waiting to the 1st of March to get into it. And also, let's tell you the story of this brand new MacBook. For a while, I was selling a bunch of stuff on eBay, and this is one of the things. In eBay, eBay turned on me. And that's why I still have that MacBook laptop, because literally it's like cost me $2,000 and everybody wanted to offer me 1,500. And that's pretty much where they stayed. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to give this to a student. No, just start writing the book. You will learn more by writing the book than looking up information on how to write the book. Gospel. One of the things you want to do is to write the books, get in these situations, build your business, build your community. Because here's the thing, and this is one of the things. I do a lot of evangelization of YouTube, and I have found out there are people with 10,000 subscribers, 20,000 subscribers, 30,000 subscribers who are getting way more views than I am. Way more views. Like, It's I'll show you one. Let's see. Let me do this. Will that? That's not going to bring me what I'm looking for. Aha. Why I'm so frugal. Okay.
I live a very frugal life. I pretty much always have, and I probably
Okay. According to Nicole, right? She has 18,000 subscribers, right? $426,000 views. I've been seeing this all day. And you know what that tells me? That my audience is not congruent. It is not set up. It's not, once again, I got a lot of work to do. When it comes to YouTube, I always look for videos that have less than 2,000 views. That's interesting. There's so many things that you can see on YouTube that have like once again, once you get in and like, I'm going to start doing a new level of YouTube training. It's going to be very different for people who want to really make money. This girl's making about $2,000 a month, and she lives in Canada. So, I mean, literally, I can do this all day long. Just go ahead and hit up all these random channels and find out that there's a ton of people who are making way more money than I am. Well, that may be, because one again, I'm in a very high CPM for the demographic, but yeah, that's one of the things. So I have learned that your content is everything. I'll show you another one. I'll show you another one. Let's see. Will it find it? It's amazing what happens when you put in certain things. But there we go. 2.4 million. Now, here's the thing. She's doing nothing extreme or extraordinary. She got 22,000 views because what she's talking about is what is happening in Palestine, Ohio. And literally all of these videos about Palestine, Ohio, 22,000, 153,000, 103,000, 485,000, 79,000. It's about the content. It is 100% about the content. And this is a lesson that I had to learn the hard way, because one of the things that I was looking at was there's so many things. Like right now, a lot of people are doing side hustle videos, credit card videos. And once I get my message and stuff down, I'm going to get a lot of things going in terms of setting up this whole thing. So that's all I wanted to touch on today. Let's see. All right, D Griff, appreciate that. Depends on what you're doing. Pretty much. Joe Hudson, thank you for the $5 super chat. But once again, I just wanted to touch on this whole thing with sales, because sales is not just one little thing you can do. Sales is a multitude of things you do to bring up your brand. So we're getting close to March the 1st. A lot of stuff's coming. I'm very happy. So that's all I got for you guys. I will let you know. And once again, I'm giving away that laptop, brand new, end of March, to a subscriber. It will not be something that you can get for just showing up. You would have to be a subscriber. So that's all I got. I will talk to you guys later.